We brought together 6 people with type 2 diabetes to share great food and even better conversation, to discuss the role insulin plays in their diabetes care and management. Welcome to the gathering. Welcome back, everyone. So we've shared some great food and talked a little bit about when you first heard about insulin. Now I'd like to take a few moments and discuss your thoughts once you started weighing the pros and cons of insulin treatment. What is it that made you decide to want to make that change?
Personally, I couldn't get my numbers down.
Okay.
And so I went to the doctor and said, we need to do something. I'm at 12, 13, almost 24 hours a day. So we need to move on. And that's where the discussion came around insulin.
So when I was told I had to have insulin, I knew because my sugars were between 14 and 18 sometimes. So I knew that the pills were not working. And I didn't want my health to get worse, so I knew the insulin would help me.
So that can be really motivating, right? You know, how you feel, like Lori said, and, you know, just thinking about your overall health. What had you all heard about insulin prior to starting it or being offered to you?
My doctor sent me to a dietitian, actually, and the dietitian kind of introduced me a little bit to the insulin. They kind of walked me through it, because I was thinking when my grandmother took them, you know, you had to use the little bottle and you had to pull it out, and I'm thinking, oh my God, and the needle's this big. And when she went through and showed me the pen and the size of the needle, and I'm like, oh, okay, I think I could do this, but yeah.
I ended up going through the diabetic support and with the team, and they walked me through every step of the way. And there's so much support out there to help you through the way and figure out the best way to do it for yourself.
So how did everyone feel that this would be affecting their lifestyle?
I had seen my dad taking the insulin, but the barrier I thought was because he had kept it in the fridge that I would have to work around my schedule to be able to be home at night or during the morning to take this. But then when I realized that the actual insulin that I had, what I was taking, I could bring with me, the barriers then started to break down for me.
I had probably the same concerns. A lot of it was timing. I didn't know if it was going to be morning, noon, night, or how it worked, period, actually. Also keeping track of your sugars, you know. I mean, that's a big thing too, to try to fit into your schedules. That was my biggest concern.
And who was most helpful to you in kind of overcoming these barriers?
My husband, actually. He was very good with, you know, he made sure that he said, it's fine, like we'll work and we'll get this done. He was very supportive. My pharmacist, of course, she was very informative and said, you know, don't worry, this is normal, people do this, you know, and, you know, once you learn what it's all about, you calm down.
Totally. And what was the point that you thought that I likely will have to go on insulin? What was that kind of like tipping point?
Would be for me was my sugars. I mean, I just couldn't get them down no matter how much I did. They just wouldn't come down.
Yeah, it was kind of that last-ditched effort. This is, you know, and accepting it that you got to do it, and again, going pros and cons, and the pros far outweigh the cons.
Okay, with all of these ideas and fears in your head, how did you build that confidence to make that decision to start insulin?
I was watching my dad do it for 20 years, and it seemed like it wasn't that difficult a process. The nurses also helped me through how to take it, and I decided I think this was a good step for me.
I'd have to say a lot of it had to do with some of your team, to some diabetic clinics, and spoke to the woman on how to actually do the, you know, injections and so on. And it just kind of builds your confidence that, you know, you can do it.
I think the pharmacist was kind of key. I also thought that maybe I'd be able to get rid of some of the other medications that I had. So that was definitely a plus.
Did anybody else think that, you know, by taking insulin, maybe I won't have to take as many medications?
That was my first thought. That's the first thing I said to the doctor when he said, oh, you're going to have to go on insulin. I said, oh, good, I can go off everything else. No, not. No, he kind of explained how each of the medications do different things in regards to your blood sugar. So one kind of keeps you low, one would keep you high, one keeps you regulated. This is just on top of everything else that you're already doing.
So now, what is some advice that you'd give to somebody else who's contemplating insulin to build their confidence?
When you look at the use of insulin, the one thing you know about it is going to help you. There is a benefit to it, and the benefit is it makes you feel better in certain circumstances, gives you more energy in others.
All right, everyone, we've had such a great discussion so far. I'd like to take a break now, and when we come back, we can discuss a little bit more about where you are now and the impact that insulin has had on your life.